All right, today we are jumping headfirst into the core ideas from Tony Robbins' absolute monster of a book, Awaken the Giant Within. And really, this whole explainer is about one thing: how you can stop just drifting through life and start taking massive, deliberate control. So let's kick things off by looking at a problem you might not even realize you have.
So Robbins has this really powerful metaphor he calls the Niagara Syndrome. You know the feeling, right? It's when life just feels like it's happening to you. You're caught in the current, you're floating along, but you can hear the roar of the falls up ahead, and you don't have a plan.
So let me ask you, and be honest with yourself here. Are you actively steering your boat? Or are you just letting the river of life pull you wherever it wants to go? It's a really important question, because the answer is what sets the stage for everything we're about to cover.
Okay, so if drifting is the problem, what's the solution? How do you take the helm? Well, it all comes down to this one incredible force that you have access to in every single moment of your life.
This right here, this is the core of the entire philosophy. Get this, it's not your background, it's not your job, it's not your circumstances that create your life. Nope, it's the choices you make. Every single decision, no matter how big or small, literally sets a new course for your life.
And this is the mental shift we all have to make. See, we're so often taught to blame our conditions, our environment, our past, what's happening to us, but that's a total trap. The real power, the thing that actually creates change, is when you take your focus off your conditions and put it squarely on your decisions.
So what does this look like day to day? It really just comes down to these three simple things. In any situation, you decide what to focus on. Are you focused on the problem, or are you looking for the solution? Then you decide what it all means. Is this setback a total disaster, or is it an opportunity to learn something? And finally, you decide what you're going to do about it. If you can master these three decisions, you can master your life.
Okay, so if our decisions are really that powerful, then what's driving them? To really take control, we have to go a level deeper. We've got to understand the science behind our own choices, these invisible forces that it turns out we can actually learn to rewire.
Now, I know this sounds almost ridiculously simple, but just think about it for a second. Every single thing you do, whether it's procrastinating on a project or dragging yourself to the gym, is driven by this fundamental and often totally unconscious desire to either run away from pain or run towards pleasure. And here's the secret sauce. If you want to change a behavior, you have to change what you link it to in your brain. For instance, if you link massive, gut-wrenching pain to procrastinating, and you link incredible pleasure to taking immediate action, guess what? Your brain will automatically start steering you toward action. It's all about changing that connection in your nervous system.
And luckily, there's a specific tool for this. Robbins calls it neuro-associative conditioning, or NAC for short. You can think of it as a conscious, deliberate process for making your nervous system finally work for you instead of against you. And it works in three basic steps. First, you've got to get leverage. You have to make yourself feel the deep emotional pain of staying exactly where you are. Second, you interrupt the pattern. The moment you catch yourself falling into that bad habit, you have to do something to physically break the state. Snap your fingers, jump up, shout a weird word, whatever it takes to scramble the signal. And third, you immediately create and rehearse a new, better path. Visualize the empowering thing you're going to do instead.
Okay, so now you've got the tools to change your behavior. But where are you going to point all this newfound power? It's time to stop just fixing old, broken patterns and start actively designing the compelling future you actually want to live.
Here's the thing about goals. They shouldn't just be another item on your to-do list. A real goal should be a vision of the future that's so exciting, so compelling that it creates its own momentum. It literally becomes like a magnet, pulling you forward through any obstacles and challenges that pop up. And hey, to make sure you're creating a truly balanced life, the book suggests setting goals across these 4 key areas. It's just a quick way to make sure you're growing not just in your career, but personally and even spiritually too. And if you're ever feeling stuck trying to come up with goals, you're probably just asking the wrong questions. Don't ask yourself, what can I do? Ask yourself, what would I do if I knew I absolutely could not fail? See, questions like that unlock a totally different part of your brain and open you up to much bigger possibilities.
Now, this might seem super basic, but I promise you it is absolutely critical. A goal is really just a wish until you write it down. You have to make it tangible, and then you have to give it a deadline. Is this a 1-year goal, a 5-year goal, 20 years? The simple act of putting a date on it is what starts to make it real. So we've gone from feeling adrift on the river
to understanding the power of our decisions, learning how to rewire our brains, and even starting to design a future that pulls us forward. Now, it's time to bring it all home.
Look, if you take away only one thing from all of this, let it be this: you are not a victim of your circumstances. You have the power, right now, in this very moment, to change your course. You've got the map, you've got the steering wheel, the only thing left to do is make a new decision.
And that's where I want to leave you. Forget about tomorrow, or next week, or next year. Based on everything we've just talked about, what is the one single powerful decision you are going to make, right now, today, to start steering your ship towards the destiny that you truly desire?